Hey y'all, I want to do this video about gray witchcraft and why I choose to be a gray witch and practice gray magic. And I also want to talk a little bit about Wicca and why I think it's stupid, and personally I think it's stupid, and why I do not choose to follow it. So it really has to do a lot with nature itself. And now Wicca does worship nature, and they worship the god and the goddess in nature, or the masculine and the feminine. And that's all good. But then they have this thing called the Wiccan Rede that they follow. And it's about not harming anyone or not harming anything. And that's the main issue that I find with Wicca, is the Wiccan Rede of harm none. And I'll tell you why. It just doesn't make sense to me to follow Wicca in that way, and to worship nature and follow nature in that way with that law of harm none. Because if you look to nature, and nature does not support that. Nature does not support the law of harm none. So to me, that Wiccan law is completely 100% contradicting the whole point of worshiping nature and being in union with nature and the forces and laws of nature. So it really just doesn't make sense to me, and so I think it's dumb. And I think anyone who does Wicca is completely contradicting what it really means to be a witch. And a lot of people come to witchcraft because they want to be empowered, and they want to be using divine energy and power in their own life for their own reasons. And so when you have these religions like Wicca or Christianity even, or just any religion really, there's these rules and laws where that power is not within you yourself and within your own authority. And there's rules to follow and all this stuff that separates you from really being a witch. What it really means to be a witch is to have that power and authority yourself, within yourself. So I really am against Wicca. To me, it's just as bad as Christianity. But that's just my opinion. I mean, if you don't agree with me, that's fine. I mean, you're entitled to your own opinions and stuff, but this is just my channel and my video blogs, and I'm just sharing really why I choose to do gray witchcraft and gray magic. So, about nature. When you look to nature, which is supposed to be what witches do to gain power and understand these secrets of power, you look to nature and you'll see that there isn't any sense of good and evil or right and wrong or anything like that. The only thing that nature really has as any kind of law is balance. If you look and you study and you examine nature, the only underlying law is balance. And now what does that mean? It means that there is no good and evil. There is no such thing as good and evil. There isn't a time when nature will say, this is good, so I'm going to do it. This is bad, so I'm not going to do it. That doesn't exist. All that exists in nature is balance. It will do creative things and helpful things to certain species and animals and people, and it will also do destructive things to certain areas and all this. So we just see that nature has this power to either catalyze creativity and life, but it also has the power to destroy and to catalyze a decay and destruction And also, that's not really going to be limited by the way that a human views these things as good or bad. So, because you see in nature, things die and are destroyed and they decay so that something new can be created and fueled from all that released energy. It will create new things with that. So it's really like one giant spiral or wheel or circle or process. It's not like these polarized ends of destruction and then creation. It's more like one constant process. So when you limit that from the human perspective of what is good and evil, you are really losing touch with the whole point of tapping into nature's power to begin with. So, like when it comes to harming none with the Wiccan Reed and all that, as a Grey Witch, I do believe that there will be times when it is necessary to harm for whatever reasons, or when it is necessary to use destruction and to destroy and attack things. I do believe that there is times when that is necessary, and I do not believe that that is wrong or evil to do that, because I do believe in following nature and aligning with nature, and it also has to do with your own inner authority and abilities to discern for your own self and for your own circumstances and your own life what is right or wrong for you in that moment based on those circumstances and situations that you're in. So see, because you can't put an eternal law of just and just follow it for every situation and for every circumstance. That doesn't make sense. I mean, you can, that's your prerogative, but to me that does not make sense, and I wouldn't follow that, and I don't recommend that you do, because that's limiting yourself, and that's limiting your own ability to decide what is the best thing to do in any given situation. So really, it just does not make sense to me of the Wiccan Reed of harm none. I mean, that's not what nature is like. So once again, it's like a complete contradiction of someone who even calls themselves a witch. In my views. Now, I wanted to talk a little bit about doing magic with other people and using covens. And I'm going to go ahead and put that in this video also. So when it comes to that, if you have not watched my previous video about the Witch's Pyramid, I do suggest you watch that and watch the parts about to keep silent, because that's definitely something you need to know. Now, doing coven work and group work is not a contradiction of that, because you will align the same intentions and goals with other witches, and it will be the exact same intention and goal. So it will not harm your spell by any negative thoughts, because even within that group of people, y'all will all keep the secret, and y'all will all keep silent about it after it's done, and you will all stop thinking about it after it's done. So it doesn't contradict the law of keep silent. You still need to keep that side of the Witch's Pyramid intact, with whatever group work you're doing. However, it is okay, and it is more powerful if you do choose to do spells and other forms of magic with a group. So I want to show you this image in this book, which ironically, this book is called Wicca, the Old Religion in the New Age, and there's the author. And well, before I really continue on with talking about the group mind, I do want to, in Coven work, I do want to say that in Wicca, there is a lot of aligning with nature and all that, and that's all good. All those parts of Wicca are good, and they'll really help you get in touch with power. It's just mainly the Wiccan read itself, to me, contradicts everything that Wicca teaches. So it just doesn't make sense to me why they have that law on there, thrown in there. That makes it like a religious thing rather than just a spiritual lifestyle. So on that note, I do have to give props to Wicca for having all the nature stuff in there. But no, anyways, with this book, there's an image in here that I want to show you all in this section about Coven work. I'm not sure if I'm getting the image. So see this image here. It shows people in a coven, witches, and how all their minds are linked into a group mind. See that? So this is what you're doing when you're doing spells with another witch or with a group of witches. You're all coming together with the same intentions and the same goals, all of those which are expressed in your mind and retained in your mind. And because they're all the same, you're creating what is called a group mind. Now, the way that works is, like I said, you're sharing the same intentions and the same goals, all with this group of people, or even with just one other person. And you're all going to share the same goal and the same intention with a magical working or a spell. And what that does is, once again, if you watch the video about the witch's pyramid, in some of my other videos, I talk about how the mind is where the power is. It's not in your body. It's not necessarily in the objects you're using or the words you say. I mean, all of that has an effect, but those are all like triggers to your mind to bring the power out. So with the group mind, that's what you're doing. You're all establishing those same triggers to bring the same energies and powers out from your minds into a collective group mind. And it's going to be more powerful than if you just did it yourself, because of the fact of what is called the oneness, or the universal mind, or the great spirit, or God, or the divine oneness, which is everything. And when you come together with another person, Vesta got in this habit, y'all, where she just wants to sit in my lap when I'm recording videos. So, but anyways, you're going to get into this state where you're all sharing the same intention and the same goal. And that is like an acknowledgement to the oneness, and really making it real and physical by acknowledging that in the other people that you're doing the spell and the magic with, by sharing the same intentions and the same goals and all coming together for a ritual or spell. You're acknowledging that state of oneness with those other people. And so that manifests its power, the power of the oneness. It manifests it in the spell and between the people that you're doing it with. And it also activates your subconscious mind more than if you're just doing a ritual with yourself or with a deity or a god or a goddess or a spirit, because your subconscious mind is where your emotions are. And that really comes into play when you're doing, when you're just in a relationship with another person, or the different friendships and relationships that you have with people are very emotionally oriented. And especially if you're close with them, emotion comes into that very strongly, and that means also the subconscious mind comes into that very strongly. So that is going to help you when you're doing spells with other people access more power. And like I told y'all before, the subconscious mind is linked to everything because of that emotional attachment. You will always have some kind of a feeling or emotion about everything that you perceive and come in contact with. So you're always going to be linked to it through your emotions. And in mysticism, this is called the astral body or the astral realm. The emotional and the astral is one thing. So this is why you will see that you can link with people astrally. You can astral project into different parts of the world or to different realms and other places, because emotionally you are attached to all of those places and all of those realms. So that's what astral projection is. I'll do a video separately about astral projection and how to do it and all that. But that's also what you're going to be using when you're doing coven work or group work. You're astrally connecting to all the other participants in the ritual or in the spell, and acknowledging that oneness and really making it physical by attaching your subconscious to the subconsciouses of everyone else in the group. All those subconscious minds are coming together consciously and also physically in the same vicinity and area. Or even you can do group work without even physically being in the same area. You can do it with someone who lives in like a different town or a different state from you or a different country from you. As long as you're sharing the same intentions and goals, your minds will link, because astral and emotionally you're linked to everything anyways, whether you're physically near it or not. So it's really just making that oneness tangible and real in the physical world. So by doing that, your spells will be more powerful and your magic will be more powerful. And so that is called the group mind. Another aspect of this is that the more closer that you are with the people that you're doing magic with, the more powerful that the group mind will manifest with your goals and with your spells. So, and that is also going back to, once again, with my previous videos where I was talking about the subconscious and about channeling. It's kind of the same thing. You program your subconscious mind to accept fully on an emotional level these different energies and beings, and in this case, people. And by doing that, you're opening up yourself to be able to channel them. So with the group mind and with coven work, that's kind of what you're doing. You kind of are all channeling each other to make your spell work that much stronger. And then even if you have an established coven or an established group of witches that are all practicing together for so long, to where the relationships are developed and just 100% open with each other, the group mind will then begin to take on its own consciousness and its own life force, even to where you don't all have to necessarily tap into it at once, but just one of you can tap into it and kind of channel its whole power without really even the other people having to focus on it at the conscious level, because the group mind will be that it becomes like a pool of power that you can all then tap into, either individually or as a group, and it will be just as powerful either way. But in order to get to that point, you really all need to consciously work on developing the group mind first, and then you'll then be all able to tap into it individually. So that's like a major thing that you all need to know about if you're going to be doing spells with other people or not. You just need to know about that as a witch. You just really need to know how that works. So that's pretty much, in a nutshell, the group mind in coven work. And again, you're going to want to apply the witch's pyramid and to keep silent, where you will not talk about this with other people who are not involved and sharing those same intentions, because it will, if you do talk about it with other people who are not involved, then their thoughts and energies are going to affect it for good or ill, depending. So you still want to apply the rule of keep silent, but yet it's okay to share with these people who are in the coven or who are practicing with you. What are you doing to me? So go ahead and take that information and use it how you will, but I just thought I would give my little input on coven work and group work and the group mind. I do have a Facebook coven that if you want to be part of that, you can come out there and join with that by going into my channel, and there on the cover photo you'll see the Facebook icon. There's 3, and one of them leads to me, to my profile, one leads to my Facebook group, and the other one leads to my Facebook page. So if you want to participate in coven work and group work, you can come on there and kind of discuss and get to know the other members and the other witches there that you will resonate with, and talk about doing spells together and really getting that group mind going and tapping into more power by helping each other out. So if you're interested in that, come out to the group. But that's going to be all for this video, y'all. But I will be back with more videos on more topics, and have some good ones too. Some really good suggestions came into me on what to do some videos about. So I'll be back with us soon. Hail to the witches, and blessed be.